I'll start this episode with a famous story about a 13-year-old boy. This is DFACTO, apparently an ordinary kid, but he was watched by the whole world. From birth, David lived in a bubble. His mother could pick him up only after wearing a gloves and standing behind the safety fence. Everything what he wore or ate was neatly sterilized in an acid and only then shoved into his bubble. David did not play baseball or basketball. It was like he was always in the jail. It was just like his own apartment inside his parents' apartment. David was a very expensive project for the government. David grew up, the state made him a special kind of spacesuit. And this is him years later. David can finally go to his backyard and step on his grass because the machine behind him maintained the pressure and the clear air. It was just like in a real space. Which kid did not dream of being an astronaut? Only thing, David was an astronaut on his own planet. And without his spacesuit, he could not live even a day. Any tiny microbe could have killed him. Beside this, David was just an ordinary boy. But unfortunately, David was born without the immune system. Everyone knows about bacteria and viruses, such as coronavirus, but today we'll be talking about the third player in this endless war. We will talk about the immune system. Now buckle up your seatbelts and let's take off. Hi, this is me, Daphne. You're watching DFACTO. Does anyone know where the immunity is? Is anyone ever able to answer this question? Is it an organ of some kind, or is it in a place in a body? You may probably think it is a blood. No. Ask any doctor where the immunity is located and he will not give you any specific answer. We don't know where the immunity ends, but we know where the immunity starts. It is the largest organ in your body. It is your skin. You have about 10 kilograms of skin and an average of 2 square meters, just like a carpet on the floor. The skin protects us from the infections. This is the first layer of immunity, like a barrier. Why to fight the enemies in the city when you can just keep them out of the wall? The skin is very clever. The top layer of skin is a wall of dead cells. But some microbes manage to get inside and another wall awaits them there. There the cells sit so tightly so nothing can squeeze between them. But the ingenuity of our skin doesn't end there. The cells regenerate from inside out, literally pushing the infection back to where it came from. But the skin has a problem. It's not perfect, just like you and me. Now I'm not talking about pimple that my foundation doesn't even hide well. I'm talking about something else. We can't be 100% covered in skin because we need what? Right, we need holes to breathe, to eat, defecate, and hear. We touch our face about 23 times an hour. This is enough for the microbe to gather around by the end of the day. And sooner or later, they will get inside you, on the pillow, in the night. Fortunately, the eyes, lungs, and stomach are not the gateway to the bloodstream. They are covered by the mucous membrane, which area is 200 times larger than area of skin. It's a whole basketball court full of mucus. Microbes get stuck in it and cannot move on. In addition to this, there are cilia in lungs and intestines that wash the rubbish from the surface, preventing microbes from gathering inside and not letting them to multiply. A wet cough and running nose, by the way, is the most striking example of the mucus. Well, the stomach is generally a vessel full of hydrochloric acid, which eats away the most of the bacteria. Most but not all of them. Helicobacter pylori feels great here. If microbes break through external barriers and begin to multiply madly, their numbers doubles every few minutes. What does it mean? This means the enemy has made it through the wall. What will immunity do? Immunity will invite an army. Here we come to the next level of protection, congenital immunity. It is called that way because it was given to us by birth, as well as to all the animals like cat, quacky, Finnish fox, bearded tamarin monkey. Even flies have immunity. The largest fighter of immunity is the macrophages. From the word macro, it means big and they really mean huge. Here is the virus. He is the smallest. Here is the bacteria. She is like a high school student. But the macrophage is so big, I don't even know why is it so big. They look like an amoeba, but they work like a Pac-Man killer. The macrophages covers the enemies with their cytoplasm and digest them. One macrophage digests up to hundreds of bacteria. See how it looks in reality. Stunning micro world, right? Macrophages are not as simple as they seem to be. For example, you fell on a skateboard. Now there will be a lot of bacteria in the wound. What happens next? It is amazing. Macrophages awaits orders in the tissues. They are chilling around. But when order comes, they go hop, hop and jump into the blood vessels, like in the metro train, and go to the final station. Here is a crime scene station. They get out like hop, hop, hop and eat all the infection in the wound. The second thing surprised me a lot, that they make the vessel to expand to widen the road for their own guys, for reinforcement to come. We see it as reddened and swollen skin. Here in the reddened party, one more fighter squad arrives. They leave the last note and go for their death. Meet the suicide squad. They call the neutrophils. Their goal is to die, taking with them as many microbes as possible. When they die, they inject deadly poisons for the bacteria and viruses, while simultaneously scattering webs of their DNA, in which germs get entangled and die. And the macrophages eat up the whole thing like a cookie crumbs. The large fighter cells eats everything what they see. But if the virus sneaks inside the cells, it turns it into a zombie. As in the movies about the zombies, they can no longer be saved. It is a walking dead, it has to be destroyed. Here a special department of fighters come to rescue. Cells with the powerful names, natural killers. They carry out their missions in 2 steps. First, they make a hole in cell's membrane, and the second protein is injected inside. So the cell undergoes apoptosis, or in simple language, suicide. And the bad cell goes just puff and that's it. I call it the kiss of death. The ingenuity of this method can be described as follows. Each cell knows how to kill itself, but can't do that. And you need someone to pass the codes from the nuclear suitcase. This is what natural killers do. They come and order the zombies to die. Amazing! Innate immunity is very quick defense, but also very primitive. The cell does not understand what exactly it is facing. It only knows that it is something bad and it's tried to get rid of it. And what if I tell you that we have, you and me, an organ that doesn't work? Yes, and it is right here in your chest. And it's called thymus. So small it looks like a lungs of cat. If after age of 25, if you're going under open heart surgery, this organ will be thrown out and never be replaced. But in fact, this is the most important gland. Until the age of 25, it teaches the strongest immune cells not to hit on their own warriors and to distinguish who's friend and who's enemies. The teacher teaches until the age of 25 and then retires. After receiving a diploma, the cell students go to work in the lymph nodes here and here. The thymus is actually a part of lymphatic system that only few people know about. And the scale of this system is enormous. It goes throughout your entire body. But unlike blood, it doesn't have a pump, our heart. It flows from the movement of diaphragm when you breathe, and it's not red as blood. This is something like a transparent liquid that appears at the wound when the blood has already stopped flowing. Something transparent and sticky, do you remember? Have you noticed when you get sick, these places are getting inflamed? Your lymph nodes. Inside those nodes, immune cells are getting ready to fight the microbes. To be a perfect killer, they need to be pointed at their enemy. And this is how the most powerful layer of defense, adaptive immunity, works. That is the immunity that adapts to the specific enemy. Here are T cells and B cells. T cells from the word thymus. These are the cells as being trained by thymus till 25 years old. T cells works as natural killers, but only much more powerful and more accurate. But this is just an animation, and this is how it happens in real life. They dig into the cancer cell and inject a deadly poison. While T cells kill enemy, B cells sit under the siege, and they make another special weapon, antibodies. Antibodies, ooh, sounds like the antimatter from the anti-world. Antibodies are the super weapon that we lack so much during this pandemic. They look like this tiny protein in the form of the letter Y. What's their secret? Antibody sticks around the enemy, preventing it from moving. But most importantly, they mark their enemy with their black mark. After that, the whole pack of immunity cells instantly recognize their enemy. All thanks to the antibodies, who constantly shout, "Shoot here, shoot here." Because of them, killers are able to kill the viruses before they hide inside the cells. So this is how different types of immunity works. I hope you like this video. Let me know in the comment section. In the next episode, you'll find out if it is possible to catch a cold in Antarctica. How can your immune system get protection even from the alien diseases? And why do some people deliberately infect themselves with chickenpox while others voluntarily keep worms inside themselves? Why, due to extreme powerful immunity, bones can get stuck together and the brains can become covered with the plaques? And how do we acquire a group immunity? So hit the bell icon and subscribe to my channel. And as usual, level up your brains. God bless you and bye.